Liam's heart raced as he dodged another Karath strike. The creatures moved with terrifying speed, their multiple limbs slicing the air as they tried to pin him down. But he had learned quickly. Humans were not the strongest beings in the universe, yet they had something others often underestimated: ingenuity. Ilara's shield glowed brighter as another Karath lunged. Liam studied her carefully, noticing how she manipulated the light energy, bending it in ways that seemed impossible. He realized that if he understood her patterns, he could contribute, not just follow. "Your mind is sharp," Ilara said as they moved together. "Humans adapt quickly. That is why you may survive." He nodded, focusing on every detail: the angle of her shield, the timing of her movements, the Karath's predictable patterns, despite their size and strength. He used a small energy device from his suit, emitting pulses that confused the Karath briefly. One by one, the creatures stumbled, giving Liam a chance to strike with precision. Hours seemed to pass in minutes as they fought side by side. Sweat poured from him, his muscles ached, but his spirit soared. Humans had always faced impossible odds, and now, on this distant planet, he felt that history flowing through him. Every challenge was a chance to rise. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the remaining Karath retreated. Liam collapsed to his knees, breathing heavily. Ilara's shield retracted, and she looked at him with faint admiration. "You are not just brave, you are clever. Humans have potential far beyond what I expected." Liam gave a tired smile. "I learned from you, but what now? Are there more?" Ilara's gaze turned toward the horizon, where jagged mountains blocked the fading light. "This is only the beginning. The Karath were the first test. Beyond those mountains lies the city of my people. They guard knowledge older than your world. But they will not welcome a human easily. You must prove yourself further." Liam nodded, determination replacing exhaustion. He had traveled far, faced creatures that could have ended his life in seconds, and survived. He had already exceeded his own expectations. Humans were not perfect, but they were adaptable, clever, and courageous. And that could make all the difference in the galaxy. The journey to the city was not easy. Jagged rocks tore at his boots, and thin air made every step exhausting. But Ilara guided him, her presence both comforting and intimidating. She did not speak much, but each gesture, each glance taught him lessons he could not have learned from any human instructor. When they reached the edge of the city, Liam stopped, staring in awe. Massive towers rose into the violet sky, their surfaces shimmering with energy. It was not just a city. It was a living entity, a symphony of technology and life. The streets were empty, yet energy pulsed through every structure. "This is incredible," Liam whispered. "How can a city be alive?" Ilara's eyes glowed softly. "Life is not limited to flesh and blood. My people have merged knowledge, energy, and consciousness. They are guardians of the galaxy's oldest truths, but they are cautious, and outsiders are rarely allowed." They moved closer, and Liam could feel the city observing them. Doors and pathways opened as if recognizing Ilara's presence. She led him to a central chamber where a large pool of liquid energy shimmered. In its reflection, he saw not only himself but also images of countless worlds, civilizations, and events he could barely comprehend. "Your people will test you," Ilara said. "They will see if your courage and mind are worthy. If you fail, you will leave, or never leave at all." Liam took a deep breath. Humans had always faced tests, wars, natural disasters, the unknown. This was no different. He would not shrink back. "I am ready," he said firmly. The chamber shifted and a holographic figure appeared. Its voice was deep, echoing across the chamber. "Human, you have traveled far and survived dangers we have not seen in centuries. Yet your worth will be measured not by survival, but by understanding, ingenuity, and respect. Are you prepared? I am, Liam replied, holding his head high. The first test appeared as a puzzle of energy and light. Floating platforms glimmered in the air, each shifting unpredictably. Liam realized that to cross, he would have to anticipate their movements, calculate speed, and act with precision. He studied carefully, remembered the patterns he had observed during the Karath battle, and moved. Step by step he advanced, timing each movement perfectly. When he reached the other side, the chamber pulsed with approval. The human adapts, the holographic figure said. Good, but adaptation alone is not enough. The next challenge was far more difficult. Liam had to decode a series of symbols, each containing knowledge of multiple civilizations. They were languages, mathematics, and strategies layered together. His mind raced, drawing on every bit of memory, every lesson learned on Earth. Slowly, he began to see connections. Humans were problem solvers by nature, inventors, thinkers. He deciphered the pattern, unlocking the next door. Ilara watched silently, her eyes reflecting both pride and surprise. You are learning faster than I anticipated, she said quietly. Your people may indeed have a place among the stars. Finally, the last trial tested not his mind or courage, but his character. He was shown a vision, a civilization facing annihilation. He could save them, but only by sacrificing his chance to return to Earth. A voice echoed in his mind. What will you do, human? Liam hesitated, thinking of his home, of his friends and family. But he realized that humanity's true strength was not selfishness. It was the willingness to help, to rise above fear, to act for the greater good. He stepped forward, focusing on the vision, finding the solution that saved the civilization without condemning himself. The chamber glowed, and the holographic figure spoke again. You have proven yourself human, not only through strength and intelligence, but through courage, compassion, and wisdom. You are worthy of knowledge, partnership, and trust. Liam exhaled, overwhelmed by relief and pride. He had faced impossible odds, crossed dangerous lands, fought alien creatures, and passed tests older than humanity itself. Yet through it all, he had learned something deeper. Humans were not just survivors. They were innovators, problem solvers, and beings capable of greatness far beyond their own understanding. Ilara stepped forward, placing a hand on his shoulder. Your people have potential we have long watched for. Perhaps now it is time for them to rise among the stars, not as conquerors, but as allies, explorers, and protectors. You, Liam, will be the first step. Liam felt a swell of pride. Humans had always looked to the skies with wonder, dreaming of the stars. Now he understood that the dream was not just to travel, but to shape, to protect, and to grow. The universe was vast, but so was humanity's potential. As the twin suns of the planet dipped below the horizon, Liam looked at the city, at Ilara, and at the stars beyond. He knew the journey was only beginning, but for the first time, he felt the truth of what it meant to be human. Not just to survive, but to rise, to explore, and to leave a mark on the galaxy. The city pulsed around him, alive with energy, and Liam knew that humans had a chance to be more than just observers. They could be participants in a vast, living universe, capable of courage, wisdom, and wonder. And as the first stars appeared in the violet sky, Liam understood one final thing. This was the beginning of humanity's place among the stars, and nothing, not even the unknown, would hold them back. In the endless darkness of space, the human explorer, Liam, floated inside his small shuttle, staring at the flickering console lights. He had traveled farther than any human before, to the edges of a galaxy no one had charted. His mission was simple in theory: gather information about any new life forms and return home. But simple missions rarely stayed simple. His sensors picked up an unusual energy signature on a small rocky planet below. The readings were unlike anything Liam had seen before. It wasn't just energy, it seemed alive. A shiver ran down his spine. He knew curiosity had always been a human strength, but it had also led to the fall of many explorers. Still, he couldn't resist. The unknown called to him like a distant, whispered secret. When he landed, the atmosphere was thin, but breathable. The sky was a dark violet, dotted with two suns that glimmered like distant jewels. Liam's boots made soft crunching sounds against the planet's red dust. He activated his scanning device, and the readings jumped off the scale. Something, or someone, was nearby. A shadow moved among the jagged rocks, silent, careful. Liam froze, unsure if it was animal, alien, or perhaps intelligent. Then, from behind a tall formation, a figure emerged. She was not like any human. Her eyes were wide and reflective, glowing softly in the dim light. Her skin shimmered faintly, as though tiny streams of light traveled beneath it. Liam's breath caught in his throat. Who are you?" he asked, keeping his voice steady even as his heart raced. She tilted her head, studying him. Her expression was calm, almost amused. "You are far from home, human," she said, her voice soft but clear. It echoed strangely, like it came from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Few survive here, and fewer still come willingly. I'm Liam. I come in peace. I'm an explorer." He raised his hand slowly, showing he meant no harm. She seemed to consider this, then stepped closer. The ground beneath her feet did not seem to bend like it should under weight, as though she was lighter than air. "I am Ilara. I guard this place. Only those who are ready may see what lies beyond." Liam swallowed hard. Ready for what? He didn't know. Yet something in her eyes made him trust her, even though every instinct told him caution. "You guard this place? From what?" he asked, curiosity pushing aside fear. "From those who would take without understanding," she said. She reached out a hand, small and delicate, and a strange, glowing orb appeared above her palm. It pulsed gently, and Liam felt a warmth in his chest. It was calming, yet strange, as if it could see into his very thoughts. "What is that?" he asked, fascinated. "This is the memory of my people," she replied. "It contains knowledge, history, and power. Only a being with courage and respect may touch it." Liam hesitated. The human instinct for discovery warred with the fear of the unknown, but he had always believed humans could rise above fear if the cause was just. Slowly, he extended his hand. The moment his fingers brushed the orb, a rush of images and sounds filled his mind. He saw civilizations rising and falling, stars being born, and beings traveling across the galaxy in harmony. Knowledge, understanding, and purpose flowed into him like a river. He gasped, stepping back. This is incredible." Ilara smiled faintly. "Few humans have come this far. Fewer have endured the truth of what you now see. Most cannot handle it." Liam felt a surge of pride, but also weight. The information was overwhelming, yet beneath the knowledge was a message, clear and direct. The universe was vast, full of life, but also full of danger. It respected courage, ingenuity, and unity. Humans, she seemed to imply, had potential beyond their small planet. "Why show me this?" he asked, his voice trembling. "Because the galaxy is changing," Ilara said, her voice low and urgent. "And soon your people will be part of that change, but you must first survive what comes next." Before he could respond, the ground trembled. Rocks fell from the cliffs as a low, resonating growl echoed across the barren plain. Liam turned to see massive shapes moving in the distance, creatures he had never imagined. They had many limbs and eyes that burned like molten metal. They were fast, intelligent, and hunting. Ilara raised her hand, and the orb expanded into a shield around them, glowing with a fierce, protective light. "They are the Kareth," she said. "Territorial, dangerous. You must learn quickly if you wish to live." Liam's heart pounded, but he did not back down. Humans survived by thinking, by adapting. "Then teach me," he said, determination in his voice. "I will learn." Ilara studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Very well. But understand this. Your courage alone will not save you. You must combine it with wisdom, strategy, and trust. Only then will you be ready to face what lies ahead." As the Kareth closed in, Liam realized that this planet, this encounter, was the beginning of something much larger than himself. Humans had explored new worlds before, but this time, he sensed, humanity could truly make a mark on the galaxy, not just as explorers, but as beings capable of change, hope, and courage in the face of impossible odds. The Kareth lunged, and Liam and Ilara moved as one. Her shield repelled their first attack, but there would be more. He had no choice but to fight, to learn, and to survive. Every instinct, every ounce of his human determination surged forward. For the first time, he understood what it meant to truly be human. Not just to survive, but to rise, to challenge the unknown, and to leave a mark on the universe. Ilara's gaze met his, and he knew this was more than a test. It was a beginning. As the sun set behind jagged cliffs, Liam felt a strange exhilaration. Fear was present, yes, but beneath it was a thrill he had never known. Humans had always faced impossible odds, and now, standing on this alien world, with an alien ally at his side, he understood that they could face anything. This was only the start. The universe awaited, full of danger, mystery, and possibility. And Liam, for the first time, truly felt what it meant to be part of something bigger than himself, something that could change the course of humanity forever.